Garry versus Joaquin Buckley is official for UFC Tampa this December 14th. A big-time matchup in the welterweight division between two top 10 guys. This is a fun one, an interesting one. It's got some history behind it. There's been some build-up. Both guys were vying for that Belal Muhammad title shot in the past after Belal won. Turns out it went to Shavkat. Now Belal's got his injury with his toe. We discussed that in a previous video. But now, we've got the two guys that were then vying for that spot. They were both going back and forth, shooting a couple barbs at each other on social media. But now here they are. They'll be facing each other to probably determine the next number one contender, or at least the next part of a number one contender bout. Whoever wins this moves on to the next stop on the way to the title, and we'll see who progresses. The short, stocky power puncher or the long, rangy, technical Ian Garry. We'll see what happens here. But let's go back to the beginning of all this beef, where it all started. It's been online, mostly online chatter, but there was an interaction they had at the PI not too long ago. Here that is for you. I'll play it now.
You're not ranked.
Okay.
You were offered to fight a ranked guy.
Okay.
You did. You said no.
Okay, that's true.
Right? Then
Yeah.
you said,
How
why don't you
rank
fight me?
you?
Yeah,
I
you're in
gotta
this
get
now.
it.
You're in this now, right?
I gotta get it.
I'm fighting 8 in the world. Why would I look down when I'm going this way?
Yeah.
You should be calling me out
Yeah.
because I'm up there.
Yeah, right.
That's the right thing.
That's the right thing.
Why would I go backwards when I'm trying to be the best in the world?
Because I got a
That
name.
does not. I don't give a fuck if you got a name.
Damn.
If your ranking's not higher than mine, nothing to do.
You want that too.
You're not ranked.
So Ian Garry kind of laying the law down on Joaquin Buckley. I'm ascending. I'm higher than you. Why would I go back down in the rankings? Well, Ian, you went down when you fought MVP because MVP's a big name and they offered you the fight. You need to get some exciting wins under your belt, and the MVP fight was supposed to be exciting. It was not. Now, Joaquin Buckley has come up and done some exciting things, and you haven't done anything, and you need to prove yourself. And I bet that's the conversation that went on between Ian Garry and the UFC, is that you're going to have to fight Joaquin. You guys are already going back and forth. You both want to fight Shavkat, but you guys both cannot. You just haven't gotten the wins together, either of you. Joaquin's more exciting than you. If you really think you can beat him and want to move on to a title picture kind of fight, Ian Garry, then you need to knock him out or do something spectacular, because your last couple of fights have absolutely sucked. This is what the UFC was saying to him, because Ian Garry, when he first came into the UFC, had this big hype train around him. Everybody liked him, but then he started revealing more of his character, revealing more of his personality. It just, I don't know, the guy's a little sus. The whole thing with his wife going on, you can look into it for yourself. I recommend, if you're going to look into some of that stuff with his wife and whatnot, go watch an MMA Guru video about it. He takes it in a comedic way. It's ridiculous what's going on between him and his wife. His wife's like 50 years old. The dude's 25. They met when he was like 20 and she was like 45. Dude, it's insane. It's crazy. I don't know what the ages are with that exactly, but it's some real cougar type stuff, if you know what I mean, if you know what I'm talking about in terms of songs, if you've been in the MMA game. So, Joaquin Buckley, starting the media run here, starting to hype up the fight. Joaquin Buckley calls Ian Garry a cuck after their fight announcement.
Down when I'm going this way.
Yeah. Right.
So there's the video again. Joaquin Buckley trying to get a fight with Ian Garry. We up now. Take the throne. Hashtag Tampa. Hashtag Buck versus cuck. I love it. Fun stuff. Hilarious. Let's see what Joaquin Buckley has to say.
Damn, that's crazy.
Order for Buck.
Oh shit, man, I've been waiting on my chicken nuggets.
I knew you was a bitch from the first day. Being Connor's clone, how you got brought up in the first place. I wouldn't fight you on my worst days. Cause nigga, you got herpes.
Alright, shout out UFC or IFC Alien, whatever he's doing right now. Great song, funny song. Ian the Cuck Garry, that's his nickname. Let's look back real quick before we finish this video up. Ian Garry's last fights have been, the last 3 fights that is, have been in the rankings. Of course, he took on MVP. MVP was ranked about like 13th at the time. Jeff Neal, he's floats around that 10 spot, and then Magny fights around that 15, 14, 13 spot as well. Decision unanimous. Could not finish Neil Magny, even though he was on one leg after 1 round of their fight. Could not do anything to Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal was trying to fight Ian Garry. Ian Garry was playing that runaway defensive game. And then he fought Michael Venom Page, a fun striker. This should have been a fun bout, pit or pat, taekwondo, point fight, fun action fight. No, Ian Garry decided to wrestle him and barely beat Michael Page. Michael Page struck him on the feet multiple times, had Ian Garry hurt. This is just embarrassing. Split decision, like, come on now. Meanwhile, Joaquin Buckley just knocked out one of the most difficult guys to knock out in Stephen Thompson in the 3rd round. Had to do what he had to do. He went for it and he got it done. Luque, one of the toughest guys in the welterweight division, he also knocked him out. 2nd round. What are we doing here? There's like no comparison. Buckley, once he has stepped up into the rankings, has knocked guys out. And Buckley, since stepping up into the rankings, hasn't been able to do anything. Barely scooting by on decisions. Buckley's a shorter, stockier guy, has a lot of power in his hands. Ian Garry, he's long, rangy, and probably a little bit more technical on the feet than Joaquin, but Joaquin can mix it up. What are we doing here? I think this is going to be a fun matchup. Big-time matchup for Tampa. Big-time matchup for both these guys. Who's coming and who's going in the welterweight division? Top 5. This is for your ranking spot. Let's see who gets it done. Joaquin Buckley versus Ian Garry going down December 14th in Tampa Bay in America. Joaquin Buckley's got that kind of home field advantage. Ian Garry starting to fall off the wagon for the fans. What do you guys think is going to happen in that one? Let me know in the comments down below.